Good afternoon, or it could be morning for some of you. I'm working here on Friday afternoon, Casual Friday. Go Comets! Woo! Hello, I'm working on the videos for your upcoming week, and I'm going to be going right into lesson 98. 98 is finding the distance between 2 points and using our slope formula. So if some of you have an old book, probably you have this formula written somewhere. If you don't have it written down, you might want to keep that. You'll be able to use that on upcoming tests. The formula for the slope of a line through 2 points is y2 minus y1, x2 minus x1. Those are subscripts, they're not squared, okay? Because it's going to match up with our points over here. Remember, x always comes first, then y. So this is my first set, x, y. That's why I have a 1, my first x and my first y. And this is my second set here, my second x and my second y. That's why I have it labeled x2, y2. So we can find the slope, and then we're going to be able to find the distance between those 2 points. I do not have my graph up here, but I'm going to show you something very quickly. If I were to graph this, 1, 2, 3, 4, up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then I have 2, 3. So here is my slope that we're going to find, and then we're going to be able to find the distance between the 2. And how we're going to find the distance is I've just created a triangle, and then if you remember from last lesson, we know we're going to find our rise and run, okay? This will be our rise and run, and then right here between these 2 points will be our hypotenuse. And we just, from the last lesson, we know that we can use a squared plus b squared equals c squared. All right, so let's go ahead and get started and apply this formula. y2 is 3 minus y1 is 5 all over x2 is 2 minus 4, because this is a -4. But when we have 2 negatives together, what happens? That becomes a positive. All right, so my slope is a -2, 6, but a -2, 6 can be reduced to a -1/3. That's my reduced slope. That is my slope. But in order to find that distance, we are going to erase this guy because we're going to use the non-reduced fraction. We're going to be using the 2 and the 6. That's our rise and our run, okay? It doesn't matter about the negative or anything right now. It's just we're talking about units. So just how many I went up and how many I went across. And now I can find that hypotenuse. So you're just going to use the 2 and the 6. So 2 squared plus 6 squared equals c squared. 4 plus 36 gives me c squared, and then c squared equals 40. Now, or c equals square root of 40, I should say. Now remember, the square root of 40 can be broken down. All right, so 2 times 2 times 2 times 5. So our 2 will come out 2 square root of 10. So the distance between these 2 points we just found is 2 square root of 10. And we know our rise was 2 and our run, or going across, was 6 units. So we know that's about right, because if you put the square root of 10 in your calculator, what does that come out to be? Like 3 point something times 2. So that's going to be a little over 6. So we know that hypotenuse has to be larger than the legs, okay? Now, I do want you to keep it in this form, the square root form. I don't want decimals, so keep it in your square root simplified form. All right, so that is a distance between 2 points. Let's go ahead and do number 11. I know we're just doing evens only, but just for a little more practice here, so you can just maybe see it. Now I'm going to not even do the graph. The graph is a great tool, but you can find the distance without plotting it on a graph. Okay, so on number 11, we have a -4, -2, and then our second set is 4, -6. So super fast, just plug in a -6 minus a -2, which negative becomes a positive, all over x squared, or x, not squared, I'm sorry, subset 2 is 4 minus 4. Now again, minus becomes plus 8. So our slope is a -4, 8, or it's a -1/2. That'll be your slope. But we're going to use the numerator and the denominator to get that distance. So 4 squared plus 8 squared. Don't worry about the negative. It doesn't matter. We're doing distance. We're doing the units. So 16 plus 64 gives me c squared. That gives me 80. Okay, so c equals the square root of 80. Square root of 80, let's break that down. 2 times 2 times 2 times 2 times 5. So I got 2 sets of 2's, so 2 times 2 is 4. 4 square root of 5. So my distance between those 2 points is 4 square root of 5. Now, granted, I could plot that and put these 2 points on it. You know, you have to use one of my coordinate planes, because if you're just doing it casually, if you're counting those units, you might be off. So you have to be very precise if you're going to plot it and then find your rise and run to get your a squared plus your b squared. But this is foolproof if you use your slope formula. All right, that's it for lesson 98, and I hope to be doing lesson 99, so you'll have all your lessons for next week. All right, again, I miss you guys. Love you. Bye-bye.